Hey, Unpaid Lunch listeners, you can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and ad-free as a Prime member on Amazon Music. Find us on social medias and YouTube at Unpaid Lunch. On your break today, literally everyone is in studio. The whole production crew, Rhino's here, and we're rocking out talking about quiet quitting, which is a major thing going on right now, and I seem to have done it every job I've had. All right, time to clock out for lunch. Welcome into Unpaid Lunch. Thanks for spending your break with us. Heavy D, Rhino's here. The whole fucking production crew. Everybody. I think it messes with the algorithms if I say fuck in like the first 30 seconds, but ask me if I give a fuck.
I don't know if there's any proof to that.
I don't think there's any proof to anything. I think everybody makes everything up all the time. That's
Apparently,
what I think.
all we got to do is say shit dick demon or
Yeah,
call
shit.
center, and we get downloads like crazy.
Yeah. Get a COVID tag, say shit, Dick Demon,
Yep.
Say call center. That's what we're looking for. Say hi to everybody. Say hi to the Hustlers, production crew. The whole crew's here.
Hello.
Hey.
Monroe, West Key, everybody's here. We're not allowing them to talk anymore unless we ask them a question.
They're in timeout.
Key don't know how to use a mic. Weston don't know what's going on. And Monroe's he's asleep anyway.
Literally, I just looked there when you told everybody to say hi. Monroe had one eye open.
He's napping.
Kind of like
It's good.
Igor a little bit.
We all pre-gamed a little hard tonight. The pre-show was...
Listen, y'all pre-gamed. I'm just now.
The pre-show was tough. Today we are going to talk about one of my favorite things to do at any job I've ever had, and I think everybody. This is more common now, but I think everybody's done it. Mm-hmm. What are we talking about, Rhino?
Quiet quitting. It's quite a natural phenomenon in today's workplace. One thing I think is quite hilarious. I've been watching a ton of content, TikTok, YouTube, and everything else, and a lot of people are trying to disprove that quiet quitting exists. And then when you get to looking at it, it's HR and recruiters.
I wish they fucking met me.
I mean, that's what they're doing. They're trying to basically retcon this whole entire situation and act like it doesn't exist when, I mean, we all live it.
Every job I've ever had, except for my current one, I've quietly quit.
I think you just either choked to death or had so much acid reflux that your head almost popped off.
Man, I made pot roast today, like pork and potatoes and
bourbon.
You didn't let me get to that. The bourbon was later.
It mixes well.
I also just sat around on the couch today and was a slob and laid around. I did wash clothes, so that's the never ending.
You know what? I did
You wash clothes?
So listen, our dryer just shit the bricks right now. It's dead.
Yeah.
So for the first time ever in my life,
First adult problems.
first time in my life, I went to an actual functioning laundromat.
Oh shit! I love a fucking laundromat, yo.
And what should have been like 9 loads of laundry at our house that would probably took a day and a half, we were done in 2 hours, and it was fucking phenomenal.
Man, honestly, when we
Hold on, time out.
Sorry.
It was phenomenal until one of my children got bored. The 4-year-old finally the phones were not working and did not keep her occupied anymore. And then my 9-year-old showed up about an hour and a half into it, and 30 minutes was not good enough for him. Then it became the most excruciating.
It was the worst. Yeah, it was the worst.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, if your kids weren't there, the laundromat is the best. Like as
Take
an
a
adult,
book.
it's so satisfying to be like how long do you work on laundry at home? Like fucking all day, literally all day, and it never gets done, right? And then it's piled up with like me and you have similar lives as far as like we work day shift and we fucking get home and we have to go to sports immediately, and we get home at 9:30 at night and we eat whatever supper happened to show up at our house, and then we repeat the same thing the next day. And laundry somehow gets done somewhere in the middle of that shit. Shout out to our wives who probably do it a lot more than we do.
And then you got to think about that too. It's multiple stages. So it's first you got to push yourself to wash it. Then once it gets started, inevitably after that first load's done, and Key, you can check me on this. You're the only woman in here that
The mom
of the group. More often than not, life gets so busy and so hectic that first load you always end up washing it twice. because it sits overnight and it becomes gross. So then you have to wash it again. Then you wash all of it. You dry it. You have some things probably that you hang that you don't dry. And then inevitably, the easiest thing that you could do is fold as they're done. No. Everybody in the house has what we call at our house. We use it as our dining room table. We coin it as Clothes Mountain.
Dude, listen, you haven't been in my living room just because you didn't have to go through that room to get in here. Man, the whole couch is just clever because I washed clothes today. And I tell this subtle lie to my wife. I did laundry today is the subtle lie that I tell because I didn't fold a thing, right? Nor was I.
You just washed shit.
Yeah, I washed, which is much more important than folding.
Oh, yeah.
As a man, right, as an almost 40 adult male, I do not give a fuck if you fold my clothes.
No.
Right? Leave them on the couch. That's fine. I know where they're all at.
As long as it passes the smell test, it's within reach.
Yeah. What are these socks? Are they clean? No, they smell like they're not dirty. We don't wear these socks also.
I'm on day 3 on them, but
No, we're not talking about laundry. I don't know whether we have a whole episode. We're just going to fucking talk about
laundry.
We're
literally talking about quiet quitting on doing laundry.
Quietly quitting doing laundry.
We're just not doing it.
I would pay.
Crap, that hurts.
We put Key in charge of producing because I don't feel like pressing buttons anymore. So Key's in charge of the sound effects, and she's been waiting to use those crickets for 2 weeks, so she got to use them. So quiet quitting. I definitely did that at Sykes the whole time I was there. Which is funny because something that goes along with quiet quitting is I don't really know a name for this, I guess, but...
So here we go. All right, let me lead in here.
Uh-oh. He's joking.
I'm prepared. Many Americans would call employees lazy or unambitious or shiftless. Loafers who are unwilling to go the extra mile, or burnouts who are unable to do so.
That hurt my feelings.
That's why everyone... This is a review that I saw online I thought was fantastic. And so when I say I'm speaking from the superior here, that's where everyone I spoke with agreed to talk only on the condition that I swap their real names with pseudonyms. But such name calling misses the point. If you ask the employees, they say they're making a considered, deliberate decision. They're done letting companies squeeze free labor out of them.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
After years of feeling exploited by their employers, the late nights, the lost weekends, the demand for fealty, the tables have turned. In a sense, these professionals are mounting a secret resistance against the status quo. Hustle culture is over. And in some corners of corporate America, it's being replaced by coasting culture, which I thought was freaking awesome. So the last part of this.
This is like the hottest thing you've ever said.
Listen, I mean, it gets me moist. I felt weird.
I love that word. You had a hard time.
I wanted to say it. And I was like,
you're about to quit.
Over the last few weeks, I've been talking to professionals like Justin who are strategically dialing back at work. Now, this is a random Justin, but I also feel like this is my boy, William Wallace. Shout out. During the coronavirus pandemic, they came to see work as just that, work. So for the first time in their lives, they view their jobs as the source of a paycheck to support themselves and their families, not a higher calling that demands their utmost devotion. And the pandemic created the ideal conditions to live out their new resolve. The hot labor market was ensured, or had ensured, their job security, while the raise in remote work is making it harder for their managers to monitor the effort they have put into their work.
Yeah.
It was the perfect time to be a recovering overachiever.
Man. So
Tell me that's not beautiful.
So much shit to unload there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, number one, man, I love that, right? Like,
I saw that and I was like, I'm literally screenshotting this. There's nothing more perfect to explain or describe quiet quitting.
I want to point out something I always say, but I've not said it lately. I love the company that I work for, right? Because I legitimately think they're not a bad company, right? I mean, they're still the shit, but right, they're not like a bad company. So, but I don't want to work anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing.
But nobody does.
Right. Mm-hmm. But I'm willing to apply myself at doing things that man, it's hard to say that you don't apply yourself to things, especially because like me and you're different anyway. That but even you,
Not that after the last week I've had, I'm burning.
so you lately, and I think you worked harder during the pandemic than most people.
I did.
Right. But you lately, it took post-pandemic was your stress, right? Yeah. And I think it took that because, like, especially, like, I've seen something in you that's a little bit different lately. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're family-focused anyway, but, like, you obviously are workaholic. You know what I mean?
In the past, like, and I've brought this up on previous episodes, I had a leader one time before flat out tell me that I was a terrible father.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, and slowly over time, and that was before I even went into the pandemic.
We're podcast geniuses, right? Last week and this week, we did that on purpose. We know what we're doing. The mental health thing, quiet quitting are very similar things. And we're smarter than everybody else, and we know what we're doing.
They definitely correlate. So one of the big things that I think...
We shouldn't have guessed.
I think it's a generational gap. I don't even know what y'all are doing.
I don't know what Wes is doing.
You just shot Wes in the face.
Hey, Wes, will you close this window behind me? Yeah. The heat pump kicked on, and it's hot as fucking here. I was trying to keep it cool for you.
No, it's good. But
production team
saying,
in work.
What I was saying is I think it's a generational gap.
Yeah.
So prior generations to us, it was a pride thing. And I think I picked that up from a lot of my family.
Yeah. Your dad especially.
Definitely my dad.
Yeah.
So, and I model a lot of my behavior after my dad. But looking back through a lot of it it was a job security thing. Like, especially in the coal mines and everything else, you got to think of that type of work.
Yeah.
The person that worked harder and continued to work harder and show up day in, day out, they're the ones that kept the job and didn't get laid off. But you got no incremental gain. There was no pay raise. There was nothing else. It was job security. So going through GameStop and all that, and like we were talking about last week, exploitative managers and things like that continue to be like the thumb that pressed down on my psyche. So there was no quiet quitting for me. It was overachieve, win somebody's approval. Anybody that'll give me a pat on the head, that's the route I was taking. So, I pretty much got the conversation before COVID that I was a shitty dad. But also at the time, too.
Well, I've told you that, too.
Well, but so when your kids are younger and they've not really fully formed their personality yet. And it's just, they're going through the formative years and things like that, and they're crawling, walking.
Except for my son, whose personality was just like chilled. Yeah. His whole personality is a freezer.
But now, like, seeing my kids and be able to interact with them on a day-by-day basis.
Yeah.
My family is my favorite people. So I don't want to be at work now. Before my dad died, I had 14 days of paid time off saved up. I have people that I manage on a day-by-day basis that once they get to one, it's gone.
Oh, yeah.
Gone. And that always just puzzled me. I was like, I like the concept of having stuff back in case I have an emergency. Not now. I've got like 1.5 days.
Oh, God, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Stays around that now.
I like to take a little bit of credit for Ryan's attitude towards work. So something I try not to talk about like too much is, like I said, I don't want to lose the job I have, but if shit came down to it, like I'm going to choose my family every time. You know what I mean? And it's like one of my kids has an event. I'm like, hey, I'm going to this.
Yeah.
Like when I was working Saturdays, it was the worst, right? But it was like, I'm going to this. And it was like, well, you don't really have PTO to cover it. I was like, all right, I do not care. Like I'm going to this. And I think like the quiet quitting, back to the subject, is I've had, more important things than me working my ass off for a company that doesn't care about me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's the care part, but I even take the care part away. I could give two shits about whether or not you want to give me a pizza party, pat on the back, or anything like that anymore. My brain's gone from that. I'm being paid when we agree upon terms of my employment. It is set forth that this is what my objectives are that I'm to complete. This is my responsibilities, and this is my pay rate for that. Now, if you start adding more to that, you better add incremental pay with that or some form of incremental benefit. Now, when you don't, that's when I'm starting to get upset and I'm starting to get checked out. And like I know you just said, I love to take some credit for, the methodology and how things are changing in my head. I mean, I could give that to former bosses and everything else, and I'm not trying to get too heavy, but when I come back to it at the end of the day, it was the passing of my father that changed me.
100%.
That's 100% it, because now, I look back and it's like...
What's time lost shit, right?
He was gone at 60.
Yeah.
And how much did he miss because he prioritized work over it?
Because your dad, so I love your daddy, right? But he had his issues that he worked way too much, right?
He did a lot. In the early parts of his life, he did.
In the early parts of his life, right? So did my dad, right? Yeah. Our fathers, my dad shouldn't be a supervisor of anything, right? Love my dad, right? Hardest working fucking man alive. Mm-hmm. But probably shouldn't be a supervisor or anything. But like you said, the coal mines, he was a supervisor in the coal mines because he worked his ass off every day and showed up all the time.
Supervisors in the coal mines.
I
always call them DFGs. Designated fall guy.
Yeah, dude. That's what I was getting ready to say. If somebody dies, you're getting fired.
Same thing. Monroe's on his head. It's the same thing in medical field.
Yeah. If
you're a supervisor over a department, you're a designated fall guy. You are somebody to catch blame if something erodes.
Yeah, it don't matter really though. Whoever's over you, who's going to get the fall.
That's who's going to get it. Yeah,
you could light the building on fire. Yeah. If Wesson's over top you, he's getting shit canned.
Should be watching him.
And that goes with it, except for like you said in the mines, you don't make that much more money, right? It's just like you don't have to.
You probably got shift preferential.
Yeah, you don't have to drive roof bolts. No, that's the only reason you took the job.
Fucking set pads and God knows.
And then your dad at the end of his career, was your dad retired when he died?
He was due to retire in 9 months after his passing.
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
He didn't get there.
I couldn't remember if he did. I couldn't remember if he did or not. But he had it cushy. The last few years, right?
So it was getting to the point where he technically had 2 years left to retire, but you want to talk about saving up PTO.
Oh,
the man had so much paid time off through the state of Kentucky that he could have retired a year early.
Well, and you're learning from, we learned from our father's mistakes, right? You're not going to work as much as your dad did.
No. Well, that's the part that pissed me off too. So he doesn't mind in surface reclamation work. For those that don't know, we live in a very predominant coal mining community or area. The whole entire area has been skewed by that market. But you either had deep mining, which was the hole in the mountain that you went back inside of.
Which is what my dad did.
Or you had surface mining, which is, my dad done a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But what he done at the end was we're working for the state. He would go look and say, okay, this is the part of the mountain you tore down. Now, part of your bond and your contract for you to get money released back off of your bond is you have to reclaim it back to a presentable state. So he got onto a new job, discovered that the previous inspector had marked some things, clear bond, release the money. Mm. Well, Dad found out the coal company had disturbed that portion of the permit again, and Dad reported it. Frankfurt got pissed off. You just lost that. Frankfurt got pissed off, came in and said, someone's got to eat, crow for this. And Dad's like, I presented this the right way. I did everything I was supposed to. They literally gave him a 30-day suspension. And the main reason he got suspension is because he filed a wrongful case against them for a promotion.
Yeah.
He went up for a promotion. He was almost 60. A guy that was 24 got it. Fresh out of college, no experience. They gave it to that guy, not the guy with 25 years experience. So his supervisors in Frankfurt kind of had some egg on their face because he filed a wrongful age dispute, or however you would coin that. So
which is obviously what that was.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was age discrimination.
Give him the promotion, you're going to hire somebody else in 4 years, right? And that was obviously
So they go to lay him, or they don't lay him off. I mean, he's got such tenure and stuff at this point, they have to do a full internal review. They give him a 30-day suspension, no pay.
Yeah.
In that 30 days, he worked on reclaim the whole entire house around the new place that they built up on the hill. Get everything put together. Contracted COVID. Died 2 days before he was supposed to report back to work from the suspension.
Man, I hate that.
And it's just crazy. Now looking at it, and I know it's heavy, guys. I apologize, but looking at it, it's giving me a whole different perspective on things.
Well, I mean, a lot of people. I know there's a few of our listeners lost people to COVID too. So
exactly. But now I'm back on salary.
Right.
Now, if you're going to pay me hourly and you want me to do 60 hours worth of work a week, I'll do 60 hours worth of work in a week.
Yeah.
But there's incremental gain for me there. Salary, my 40 hits, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done now. I'm no longer pushing on beyond that threshold. Now, that's different, whereas the more common sector, and kind of what we worked through just a moment ago when we was reading that piece, is that us saying we're not going to take on additional work without pay is not the true understanding of quiet quitting.
Yeah.
People have now realized this is what I can do. All right. A is me succeeding at my job. B is okay. C on a grade scale is it's getting tough, but I'm passing. But I'm doing enough to where I'm keeping my job. D's concerned, obviously, if you're getting fired. We're in a world now where everyone's riding that tightrope of the true dedicated C.
You know what's funny is it's an unpopular, maybe this is, maybe it's not an unpopular opinion, but hot take anyway is it is almost harder to just skate by than it is to just do your best your job. You know what I mean?
It can be. It depends on the workflow.
No, and what I mean, I guess it's more so if your job is like, so in school, like I just did whatever, like, why would I do any extra? You know what I mean? Like, what did it matter? Especially like, I was probably not going to go to college, like any major college anyway, because my parents weren't going to be able to pay for college. And I wasn't going to be an athlete, so I wasn't going to pay. You know, I played, but I wasn't going to get the ride. I knew even at my best, I wasn't going to be smart enough to get to get an academic scholarship. So I was like, well, I'll just get C's and fucking do whatever, and then I'll get out and work, which is what I did. And I work with a bunch of people. I make more money than a lot of people who have master's degree.
Oh yeah.
Who have master's degrees.
In a call center, I make more money than a lot of starting out educators.
Yeah, well,
Like
Keisha has way more education than we ever do.
Yeah.
Until she found the job she recently does, and blessed to have. But before that, she struggled through all work. She struggled through because she couldn't find anything because she was fucking overeducated for everything.
Do you make more than this?
Yes.
She does
How
now.
long did it take you to get there?
This year.
Yeah.
How many
I have
years
a
you been
master's
working?
degree.
Yeah, how long have you been
Well,
working?
she's not in education. She's in education, but not in like.
But that's what I'm saying. She's adjacent.
She's
right?
adjacent. Yeah.
All right. So how many years did it take you to get there?
My whole life.
That's what I'm saying. And that's 3 years in a call center.
Well, that's what I mean.
That's what's fucked up with this world. You've got like 6 years. That's 8 years of college.
Listen, I make $19.50. I've been at my company 2 years. Like, and that's just because like the department I'm in now. Now I do a lot more work than I've ever done at probably any job ever. I do a lot more work, and it's like work that I have to do, which is what I need though. Like I have work that if I don't do, everything's fucked up and nobody else is going to do it. Yep. So I have to have that kind of work or I won't do it. Like,
there's also like we're talking about how like you ride the tightrope of I'm going to do just enough work to where I can't get fired. You see different people have different scopes and different platforms to that. Yours is I'm going to do enough amount of work to where I don't get fired and also don't get that meeting that you hate.
Sure. But there's different ones. There's people who like are fucked all the time, who are like on their final all the time. And it comes from Office Space. It's funny, we've talked about it before, probably not in a few weeks. I've not talked about, I watched Office Space again recently at work, which is funny. But how much this show is like an offspring from Office Space.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because I watched Office Space for like a week, and it's when I was in my previous job, and I really was upset about it. But anyway, he doesn't want to have meetings, and that's really why I don't want to.
He feels hassled by that.
I don't want to get in trouble because I had meetings, and I had a boss who I loved, but I really didn't think I was going to be able to work for because we had a meeting a week, and it wasn't even like I was in trouble or anything. It was just like progress meetings, and I was like, "This is like I literally can't do this. Please let me fucking come to work and do my job." I like my job now because I come to work, I do really busy work, and then I go home. You know what I mean? I mean, I got enough shit. We talked about last week. I got so much shit going on now that I'm like, I'm busy anyway.
Well, I literally just watched it again the other day too, because when I was looking into this and doing a lot of research on quiet quitting, it's literally the movie.
You guys think we don't put any work in this show?
Well, we put work in. It's literally the movie because I mean you got to think about it. There's two main key pivotal scenes that is a full work in motion practice of quiet quitting. When Peter is pulled in for a meeting, what is it? The Bills?
Yeah, the Bills.
So he's literally going through the spiel and like telling
Bobs.
them the bobs,
yeah.
the bobs. So he's going through the scene with, I knew it was bees. They're working through the scene with the bobs. He's explaining them what his day looks
It's
like.
a lack of motivation.
Exactly. Every single thing he says in that scene is quiet quitting.
Yeah.
And nobody talked about it. That was mid 90s.
Yeah.
Nobody talked about it.
If I work my ass off and they move a couple extra units. And it's like, I make the same amount of money.
Quiet quitting.
Yeah. Fuck, I love that.
Jennifer Aniston. Do you want to wear your 16 pieces of flair or do you want to wear everything? She's wearing the bare minimum.
She wears the bare minimum.
And get by.
And she's like, do you want me to wear 16 pieces of flair? And he's like,
I want you to express
I want you to express yourself. And she's like, so yes, then wear more. And that's how I feel. In high school, I actually figured out that summer school was easier than my math class.
Yep.
So if I just didn't go to my math class or failed it,
But here's the thing.
I could go to 2 weeks of summer school.
I ain't going to mention her name, but if you had her,
hey, and I
summer
like
school is
her.
a hell of a lot.
And
I love her outside
and
of
I like
school.
her outside of school. Like I see her at ball games and shit, and I'm like, I love you. You're not
Love
my
her now.
favorite teacher.
God, I hate her. That's why I ended up transferring school.
Me and her
Was to
actually
dog
had
her.
like a relationship where like I wasn't even her student. I mean, we didn't fuck, but I mean, like we were cool. You know what I mean? And like, but she knew I wasn't going to do any work. And that was just the way it is because I could go to 2 weeks of summer school and it was just doing worksheets. Like, and I just did worksheets for 2 weeks.
God,
And that was
she
easy. I
difficult.
quiet quit school.
She was a hard egg to crack, let me tell you.
Everybody, you know, Gabby, my little girl who's 10, was in here in the 4th grade, was in here earlier in class with your son. And she was like, I dread tomorrow so bad. I gotta go back to prison. And I was like, you shut your mouth. I was like, you shut up. You don't know what it's like. Life. It's tough.
And I get it. I mean, but Lord, live that life up until you get out. Like I told Asher the other day, I said, dude, you don't understand. Like, he's like, if you could change stuff, what would you go back? Would it be school? Would it be sports? I'm like, all of it.
Yeah,
There's some things
literally
that would change, and
everything.
there's some things I wouldn't. I said, but there's like, dude, you don't know what you're messing out on right now. Like right now, he's going through. My son's incredibly athletic.
Yeah, yes.
Like more athletic than I ever would have been. A lot more athletic than some of the peers of his same age group. But the problem is, he's getting to the point now he knows it,
yeah.
and he's starting to want to work less. And it just
He'll get humbled.
He's going to get humbled at some
Yeah.
point. And I'm actually to the point now I'm taking the step back in the back seat, and I'm wanting him to.
Yeah, he needs to get humbled,
wanting him
right?
to get drugged down really good one time.
Well, because he's at the age right now that there's no, because all the coaching is positive coaching. You know what I mean? There's no like,
there's no constructive.
yeah, there's no criticism. It's all like, hey, you're going to be really good. Keep trying and keep going. There's
Oh,
nothing
you're a
like,
beast, kid. You're doing great. Da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
The only person that is contrarian to that is me.
yeah,
And I become the villain because I'm the dad coach.
yeah, because you look bad. Yeah,
But you want to talk about quiet quitting? I'm going to quiet quitting on coaching for my child.
just fucking.
I'm just going to let him get by with bare minimum. Because the thing is, me and you, we were never the most athletic, but we worked hard.
Well, that's what I was talking to Larry Osley about. Shout out Larry. Was like, if you work hard at it, you could in sports, like you really just got to outwork people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you got to have some athletic ability, but if you outwork people, you'll get the job, right? You're going to do it, and that's what
'Cause it's
sports are
gonna-
about.
If you outwork everybody, it's going to develop consistency.
Yeah,
Whereas if you don't, it's going to become sporadic peaks and valleys.
especially baseball, right? Like, because
Yeah.
when me and you talk about sports, everybody,
It's
just
most
so
fun.
everybody knows, if me and Ryan are talking in generals about sports, we mean baseball,
Oh, yeah.
right? Because we talk more about football and we talk a little bit about basketball, but at our core, baseball is where we are,
We are
and
baseball
that's what
guys.
we're talking about generally. And in baseball, what makes you good is consistency, persistence, and it's really like, and it's less skill than other sports, right? It's less skill than other sports. That if you do repetitions, yeah, that's the other word I was looking for. That's where it's at: repetition, persistence, and consistency.
Yep.
Right. God
Repetition,
damn, that's some serious shit. But really,
repetition develops the consistency. The
And-
persistence develops the
and baseball
repetition.
more than any other sport, and football, right?
It's a vicious little
Jude,
circle of life.
shout out Mike, shout out Toe, right? It's been a recurring guest.
Oh, yellow croc.
Yeah, His son is the best tackler on Neon's middle school football team. He is also the smallest 8th grader and one of the smallest kids on the team.
Yep.
But his form tackling is because he is consistently better at wrapping people up than everybody else on the team, right? And it's just because of that he's able to do it.
Because he puts in the work.
Because he puts in the fucking
He
work.
realized at an early age that wrestling was going to help him in football. It's going to help him understand how to contain his body. That's why listen, I know a lot. If you're from away from here and you don't listen to this, this is local shit. I'm getting into it. I'm sorry, but I'm just pounding my chest. But like we went from, we're getting ready to go into, or actually today, this launches today on Monday. This starts the beginning of our wrestling season. We went from having 15 kids in our youth program last year. And what would you say, 8 to 10 in high school?
Yeah.
50 now in the youth program.
Yeah, I didn't get to see high school a lot, but that's about right.
Oh my God, I can't wait. That is one sport you can't quite quit in, because if you do, you get your ass beat.
Oh, yeah, because it's just 1v1. You quite quit, you're done.
I can't wait to watch all that. I can't wait.
Have you ever in your life quite quit any job? If you weren't a supervisor, I think you would have by now at Sykes. I did at Sykes because what you were talking about doing more work than you get paid for, Sykes is the worst for that, right? It was the worst forever, because the reason I left is because I had to take all kinds of calls from different departments that I knew how to do, because I did just enough there. But unfortunately, I did just enough to know everything about every department.
I can't do it there.
Yeah, I know that.
I'm so invested. It's going.
Yeah, and I don't mean there. You're responsible for people there, right? So
that's my thing.
Yeah.
Is at the end of the day, I'm responsible. I look at my 25 like they are my children.
Yeah. About Food City.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was...
Food City Video was the epitome of quiet.
I also think everybody at Food City does the bare minimum.
Nobody gives a shit.
Nobody gives a fuck.
You would get
Josh Cottle works his ass off.
He's been
there 100 years.
20 years now?
I think he's going to quit soon, right? Because he's getting his degree. He's finishing his degree.
He's getting close. So what is he doing? Mortuary?
Probably produce.
He's not in produce anymore, bub. I saw you up front the other day. If you're listening to this still, I saw you up front working. I was like, what in the world is he doing?
He's one of my favorite people. I don't like to give him any credit, but
I love him.
I don't really like to give anybody any credit except for you.
Man's got a good beard.
He has a fucking awesome beard.
He's got an amazing beard. He's done some
great
good
dude. I wish
work.
he was an asshole. I'd like to find out he was a serial killer or something. I'd feel better about
He's
it.
done some dang good podcast work.
He has done, and I'm really disappointed that he hasn't been on our podcast.
Have we not crossed, streams there yet?
Cross streams.
Yeah, I wanted to throw some type of euphemism out there that made people uncomfortable.
I feel like
have we not sword fight yet?
I feel like if he comes on and we come on and then we all are naked, that would make for a really good show.
I feel like we're just going to talk a lot about random nonsensical bullshit.
Do you know how much fun we would have? What are we doing?
Ramble.
You want to call him right now? We'll fucking call him.
We probably need to.
I wish it wasn't in the middle of the night.
I wish I didn't have to get home. We could just start pounding drinks.
Next week we'll call him.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, we'll call him next week. Hopefully he won't quite quit us.
Well, I did feel like there for a little bit, like you brought it up last week, that we were feeling a lot of pressure about feeling like we had to put out episodes. We were kind of starting to quite quit here a little bit.
Yeah.
Like we're kind of laded into that.
I really want people's feedback because people, we joke about nobody listening to the show, but I know you all are out there. You 6 people are out there listening. And we kind of want feedback, just like, I feel like the last 6 weeks has been our worst product, which is funny because when we think that, other people message me and are like, hey man, this episode was fucking awesome.
You get that all the time.
And I think it was our worst 6 episodes because I think me and you have been checked out for a while.
We had been. I thought last week was one of our better
fire.
Ones. I thought
it was great.
I ain't heard a fucking word about it.
I had a great time last week.
I had a word about last week.
I had a really good time doing the toy store, the eject toys, but we were pretty tired that night. We record pretty late.
Have to.
Yeah, we just don't. We just fucking family and shit. We don't really have time to do anything about that. We record pretty late, and I got a lot of other projects going on right now, as like podcasting and broadcasting and shit, and then Rhino has a lot of shit he's working on, and by the time we get done, we don't. We make all big plans to have like 4 guests and record 4 episodes, and we don't get any of that shit done.
But that does bring. That's why I'm so grateful for this, because it has. Kind of harkening back to the episode we had with Psycho Silico and talking about how, in a previous life, it feels like it's been
The current
that long
guest, he's
ago.
coming back on.
Yeah, he should be back here soon. Tyler, if you hear us, you're coming back soon. Which he's about to get very busy quickly, so we're going.
Boy's gonna pop off. We're gonna have him on.
Pop off. We gotta get him back quick. We were kind of talking about, I was like, in the past life, that's what I'd like to do, something creatively. I wanted to go to Full Sail. I wanted to do movie production and stuff like that. And this is kind of reinvigorated some of that creative spark. I know, like, especially with you, you were in a booth for a football game the other day doing some producing. You've been working on some, adjunct stuff, doing sports shows.
Love it,
Winston,
man.
who's a previous guest. So plug it all. What are you doing right now?
Red carpet. Let's red carpet. So been doing a show, Winston's Baby, Winston Lee's Baby. It's on TVS cable. It's Before the Whistle, and we cover. It's like 45, 50-minute show. We cover local sports, NFL, NBA, stuff like that. Small segments. I do it with Winston Lee and Coach Ethan Cummings from Jenkins. Both those boys. That's fun. That's on Friday night before the local game. On hometown 24.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then with another company, a competitor to that company, which is interesting.
Conflict of interest.
D&D Sports. I've been calling some of the games on Friday nights for LCC and producing stuff and producing for a few other podcasts, and then we're working on some podcasts also under the Unpaid Lunch umbrella. We're working on some other projects that Rhino's going to be involved in and doing some stuff. And that's fun. Keeps me busy. Keeps me not sad. Listening to very, very little Adam song lately. Not listening as much of it. You listen to the fucking new album?
No.
Oh, dude. Monroe
good?
lit up, dude.
I didn't even know it was out already.
It came out Friday. They released Anthem Part 3 Friday morning, and then the album came out at noon. And it is so good, dude.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, it's so good.
You hit a nerve when you said Adam's song. My whole family almost had me committed at one point. Thought I was suicidal
Because you listen to Adam's song?
because I listened to Adam's song. I was like, it's just good fucking music.
I accidentally posted, like, I don't know if I just didn't think about what it was about, but Stay Together for the Kids. Like, I posted that to my, like, Facebook one time, my Facebook story, whatever, and I had, like, 3 people message me and be like, are you getting a divorce? And I was like, wait, no, I'm sorry. I just fucking really super sad, and this song makes me even more sad, so I had to listen to it.
No, I wanted to just fully be cradled by the...
Red carpet for you. What are you doing?
Uh,
You got some shit popping off?
so it's
Don't
been
lie.
kind of fun here lately.
What's that? What's that TikTok?
TikTok is at Big O Noggin, BIGOLNOGGIN, because I have a massive dome on top of my shoulders.
This is, I call this podcast the biggest head podcast on earth.
Biggest head podcast.
Kelsey's
Especially
are
when Nick's
close.
Here. God, when Nick's here,
We gotta get Nick back, and
God,
then
there's
we'll
so many
record a
heads.
big head episode.
big head episode. I've been just thinking about content differently here lately. I love all the different social media platforms and stuff, and
I love this version of you.
I love this type of year. I'm a huge, like we've talked about in previous episodes, huge horror movie fan. Love Halloween. Love everything about it. Had a weird random occurrence where I knew an animatronic at Spirit Halloween was going to scare the bejesus out of my kids, but I staged it perfectly.
It
I was
was
like, I'm going to videotape this and we'll see what happens. Damn thing's got like 3.7 million views on TikTok.
You gotta go check it out on TikTok. It's hilarious.
And I'm pumped about that.
He thought he was such a badass in that video. It's my
was
favorite
puffing
part.
Up on it. My kid thought he was so brave. Amber walks up. She's like, "Are you working?" Like very sweetly asking this big red demon if it's what its intentions are.
The first time I watched it, I yelled, "Get fucked!" when he like fell down.
Asher almost does a backflip.
It's hilarious.
So then I got thinking about it, I was like, this is the type of stuff that I feel like the algorithm is definitely meeting right now on TikTok. I'm seeing a lot of horror stuff. I'm seeing a lot of Halloween, Spirit Halloween. I'm gonna put it on there, and it popped off. It did. Done a couple other filters and things like that that's Halloween based. And the more we sat and talked about it, years ago, Asher wanted to do like he was desperately in love with Funnel Vision.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
FGTV and shit
FGTV.
like that. He wanted to be like
Motherfuckers are rich.
Yeah, they are. They're kind of somewhat local. They're East Coast. Like they
Oh,
put
yeah.
up videos going to
They're
like,
cool too. I think
yeah,
like their content, like
Smokies and
their
stuff.
content seems down to earth.
Yeah, I like them a lot.
Fuck them. Shut the bitch.
But that's what he wanted to do. So he's like, we could do like a hiking adventure video. So we made one called Asher's Hiking Adventures, and one video too much. I followed him up a hillside, slipped, fell, rolled all the way down, busted my damn back.
Did you post that one?
It's on there, but like I don't know if it's just the context of it. It got like 6,000 views.
You should cut it down to just you falling.
I cut it down to that, and it's still not popping up. Like
I've not seen it. I gotta watch it.
Eli's mommy, she's like, I don't care what you put out. Him getting scared by demons funny, but you rolled down that hill is the funniest thing I've seen in my life. So that kind of shut that down because I couldn't walk for about 4 weeks after that one. So his YouTube channel just kind of went away. Well, we got to talking about it. I'm like, dude, right now is the perfect time.
Yeah.
Like, what would you like to do? He's like, I want to do more of this scary stuff. Well, it just so happened that right around the time that all this started popping off, Netflix was releasing The Fall of the House of Usher.
Yeah.
Poe material. What just so happens, my kid's name is Asher. I was like, let's get witty. The Fall of the House of Asher.
I love it.
So
it's the most clever thing you've ever said.
I just got lucky to name my kid something close. But we've got that page up and running. And last night we went on this big, huge family outing, probably like 25, 30 people, family, friends. We went over. If you're local, go check out the Kingdom Come State Park Fright Nights, I think is what it's called. It's phenomenal. There's like a illuminated like 9-hole putt-putt golf course. It's just full Halloween lights and stuff like that. And then they had a pretty good haunted house. So I was able to go. I was like, I'm just going to film this whole experience and see if we can get a vlog out of it for his channel. Now I've got like 50, 55 minutes worth of content. So probably by Wednesday of this week, I think we'll have the first vlog episode out.
I love that.
We'll see how that goes. As long as he wants to keep up with it and run with it, we'll keep doing it. Also picked up a tag along with it. Cole loves this stuff.
Oh, I know, man. Last night he was.
Oh my God!
So you guys went through. My son, to local people, listened to the episode this week. The last weekend for the haunted house at the Little Shepherd.
Mm-hmm. We had two last night, back to back.
It's a haunted forest, man. It's the asylum, I guess, and it's so awesome.
I had to go talk to Clay before we recorded because he did really good. It was basically kind of giving like last rites, I think, on an electric chair.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
He lives for acting, and that's just like he's just acting in a horror movie, as far as he's concerned, and he loves doing that shit.
I'm telling you, we were talking about it before the show starts. I ain't gonna drop this on this episode, but I've got a concept for something next year for a fundraiser, and I want Clay involved with it because I've got an idea for it. Like I'm a big, and I know Josh Cottle will speak to this if he listens. I know he's a big fan too. Huge Clive Barker fan. So there's some things I'm playing around in my head that I would like to set up next year, and I think we got the perfect venue for it. So I'm gonna see if I can rob him away from the amphitheater up there and see if I can put him to work.
Well, they didn't get to do the play this year because they couldn't get enough people or whatever, and there was enough people to do the haunted house, but they couldn't get there.
They had a killer Reagan-esque exorcist scene. I really enjoyed it. And it's kind of another one of those generational gap things. I was talking to the director. She was in the back of the pack, escorting us back out, and the kids were in the front, and there was people still jump scaring. And I'm just talking to her in the background as we're walking out. I was like, I really liked your exorcism scene back there. She's like, you're only like the third person that's realized that that's actually the exorcist.
Which is the saddest shit that nobody...
most of our kids today ain't watched movies from 1970s. They don't know what The Exorcist is. They know what maybe like The Exorcism of Emily Rose is or something like that, but they don't know what Reagan is.
It's super depressing.
It is.
I don't get how people don't know what that is.
Mm-mm.
I watched I do dad watching TV. I don't know if you do this, like where you roam into a room when there's something on and you catch yourself watching it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
You ever do that and you walk in and you get invested and then they change it?
Yeah. Like they didn't know you were watching. I was like, what are you doing? And then I catch myself watching that show later.
Yep.
Yeah, but I caught where this lady was talking about The Exorcist being real, and I know it was a true story, but like she was talking about like the movie. She was like, yeah, when they filmed that stuff, that was really happening. And it was like that girl's head turned backwards and stuff. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Linda Blair's head did not turn around backwards.
I know. I was like, she's an actress. You know that. Like, she got confused because it's based on a true story.
Yeah.
I guess. But everything like that is. Segway Gods. Here we are with the Segway Gods next week. We're going to have a horror episode.
Love it.
A Halloween horror episode. And that ought to be good. Hopefully, I'm going to call them out so they have to show up. That Mikey and Willie Joe are supposed to come by. And we're going to try to do some scary shit and some horror shit because they live for all that. Mikey has a VHS collection of horror movies.
So
awesome.
we need to sneak Tyler in with us.
I was going to say, if we could get Tyler here to just fuck them up, that'd be awesome.
They think they're badass and they get in here and all of a sudden the dolls start popping out. They're like, I don't know what I signed up for.
I don't know, man. Mikey might be all about it. I think
Mikey would be all about it.
They'd fucking sell it. Mikey has a badass VHS collection of horror movies, like
We'll have to check it out.
old horror movies of VHS. It's fucking awesome. Yeah, so I've quiet quit. Total tally. I've probably quiet quit. I didn't do anything at probably the first 4 jobs I had. So I don't know if that counts as quiet quitting or just quitting from the beginning.
Could be just laziness.
Yeah, it's probably just laziness. That's true.
Non-application.
Yeah, is it? I guess that's where there's a fine line, right, between just being lazy and not doing your job, and like, and doing.
One is being knowledgeable of the experience of what you're working through.
Yeah.
Kind of being exploitative. The other one's just not giving a fuck.
Yeah. And I love doing this, and you do too, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what it'd feel like. Like, we don't get paid. We get paid just like we have patrons. We have patrons. Patrons that pay for basically our publishing. Like publishing our episode and stuff is not free. We had to put that everywhere, and I'm pretty sure it covers it. I've not did the math because I'm not an accountant. I'm a content creator. And that pretty much pays for the publishing. I want to give a shout out to our patrons that have been with us for a long time. Got 5 that have been with us forever, and we're proud to have that many. I mean, it's awesome, and it's good friends and listeners of the show. Travis Sturgill, Chris Hammonds, Charlie West, Mike Adams, Willie Howard. A few of those people are reoccurring guests, right? We've had Trav on and Mike a couple times. Willie's been on. Brother-in-law Charlie, he does all our logos and all our graphic work. He's fucking awesome at that.
He's phenomenal.
Also, some of our listeners know him because he is the sleeper musician. He's one of the greatest musicians of all time.
He's so
in this
good.
in this area, man. They use his mixes and shit on a lot of people, on a lot of tapes. And then Chris Hammonds streams. What is that? MTG Hammonds? Isn't that what his Twitch is?
Hollywood,
right? Hollywood MTG. That's what it is. I think
Hollywood
his
MTG.
something else was MTG Hammonds. It was like his eBay or some shit. I've known him for a long time and worked with him on a lot of stuff.
He does a lot of marbles runs now.
He does
does
marbles run shit. Yeah, because Magic is dead.
It's dead.
It's fucking dead. It's
There's
super
a massive
sad.
tournament today, and none of us gave a shit. We're all sitting here right now,
I
talking about the
have
tournament.
3 Pioneer decks, and I don't give a fuck.
No.
We thought about playing in it. I wonder if anybody showed up.
I reckon they had somewhere between 20 and 25.
It's all
They had a
people
pretty
from
good show.
Bristol. Shout out.
Ray-Ban's out of retirement, man.
Oh,
I
right
heard
from
Ray-Ban's back out. And
He lost weight and got
crushed.
healthy and fucking crushing everybody's soul. He's the best Magic player I've ever seen. Shout out Jason Williamson. Shout out. Come on the show. Talk about bullshit. That's what you talk about.
Absolutely. At closure this week, we're still working on the video aspect of it. As we talked about, we always try to get our episodes out on Monday mornings. Right now, timing schedule, we got to figure out a different day to record because I don't want to put Dusty literally editing until
It's
6
also
o'clock in
the
morning.
option of releasing a different day, and it's really based on our guests. Like if guests
We
would
need
be
that
happy,
feedback.
if guests would be happy having a Wednesday show instead of a Monday show for a while, and see how they like about that, that would give us a couple more days. And then if we have a Wednesday show instead of a Monday, we can have the show on YouTube as well.
I think we just need to try it one week.
We will, and we'll see
gather
what we can
feedback
do.
from
Give us some feedback though. Send us a fucking email. My email's Dryden. Man, there were so many jokes I was going to say just now, and I didn't say any of them. They all included somebody's mom.
Yeah, don't get us canceled.
Yeah, I think my mom could cancel us.
No, I'm just saying.
She listens to us, but I bet she don't
what
listen
you were
to this
getting ready
episode.
to say probably could have got us canceled.
I feel like I could say anything I wanted right now about my mom, and she wouldn't hear the end of the episode because she definitely listens to the beginning of it. But there's no fucking way she listens to the
No,
end.
she'll make it to the end.
No, neither do I. Yeah. Check Ryan out. Big old noggin on TikTok. Like, share, comment on everything. Unpaid lunch at unpaid lunch on TikTok
as well,
at unpaid lunch on Instagram. We are on Facebook, even though you don't know it because we talk shit about it for so long. But we are on Facebook.
Got reels popping up there now,
and YouTube Reels also, and hopefully soon the show will be live on YouTube,
soon
which will be
YouTube shows.
Everybody's going to be like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?"
One other thing we've talked about too, just to kind of provide, because I know some people just don't actually like the audio platform. They want something they can pull up in a browser on the back.
Yeah, sure.
So here soon, we're probably going to actually put up the full episodes on the YouTube.
All of our episodes, but with just stick figures.
Yep.
Sitting on a table.
Yep.
Probably.
Or just like a zoomed in picture of David's face.
Yeah.
I'm really thinking about doing that.
It's just Wesson all the time. Trashed probably from previous. Well, I have more. You don't drink anymore, but I have more pictures of you drunk than not.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. Oh, Rhino, you got anything else, buddy?
No, sir.
You guys got anything? The hustlers?
Quiet, quit your ass off.
Hey, fuck it up. Hey, remember, y'all, ain't nobody stopped you from quitting your job, but you. Everybody quitting. Quit in the middle of it.